You guys are just so cool with allowing your fellow sisters to be delusional. Like, there's no way in hell if a 5'4" dude makes about $50,000 a year talking about he wants a 10, there's a 0% chance that that dude would leave that panel believing what he said out of his own mouth, because everybody there would have sat there and looked at him and went,
"Are you high?"
Happy New Year's, well, welcome back to Cancel Thoughts. It's your boy Better Day. So today's video is coming from the Madame Noir channel. It's a channel kind of centered around black women's issues and talking about the things plaguing them. And very recently they had a panel discussion with about 5 ladies, I believe, including Tori Hart, Melissa Ford, and a host of other ladies who I can't necessarily remember their names right now, but it's something that I think it's interesting for us to talk about and kind of dissect a little bit. But before we get into it, you guys already know I'm about to ask you guys to do me a solid and hit that like and subscribe button for more content. I'm trying to make sure as many people find this channel as possible, and the only way I'm gonna do that is with you guys' help.
Modern woman, right? We are protecting ourselves because now it's coming to the situation where we're blamed for things. Even when we jump behind and help and try to save somebody, we're the issue there. So is that the modern day woman?
No, the modern day woman is just, we've gotten to such a privilege of being able to shift the narrative of what womanhood looks like. Like, my mom married to get out of her house, and her mom did the same thing.
Right.
And I couldn't imagine that for myself. You know, I'm 39 years old now, and I would like to be married and get in you know, a committed relationship and all of that, but I don't want to do so just to like escape or welcome in this next part of my life that I think this person is going to usher me into. I don't want to be nobody's Coretta. Like, I'm having a great time being Oprah. Whoopi. I like all the people that don't want nobody up in their house.
What about when you want a sugar daddy?
I really do. It's a
We talked about this, and I told you
there's a website for that.
Why is what is your reasoning behind that?
I mean, I know that there's a lot of negativity around that, but I would love to be taken care of and not be any of my money. I don't want the
First and foremost, if you don't see the hypocrisy that exists between you saying that you're enjoying being your own Oprah and you don't want to be a Coretta to somebody else, but then also having the perspective of you wanting a sugar daddy to take care of you, I don't necessarily know what to tell you. Listen, this is a new year. I'm going into this new year being the same old person that I've always been, and we need to tell people the truth, and that's what we're going to be doing today. She also said there that she doesn't necessarily want to marry somebody because she doesn't want to like feel like she has to escape. Love, I'm going to be 100% honest with you here. I don't think that's an option for you for very obvious reasons, but if you want me to go right into it, we're going to go right into it. You are over 250 pounds. I don't think anybody is going to be looking for you. Period. I'm sorry. I need to be 100% honest about this, guys. You talking about you wanting a sugar daddy or whatever. Nobody's about to be paying for the bills of a 260 something pound person. Listen, Melissa Ford can say that she wants a sugar daddy. The other lady, the lady in green there that's sitting right next to you, she can say that she wants a sugar daddy, and it'd be
unconventional, but not impossible.
You do not have that luxury, sweetheart. I need to be 100% honest here. And one of the issues that I have with all of these female kind of panels or whatever is that you guys are just so cool with allowing your fellow sisters to be delusional. Like, there's no way in hell if a 5'4" dude makes about $50,000 a year talking about he wants a 10, there's a 0% chance that that dude would leave that panel believing what he said out of his own mouth, because everybody there would have sat there and looked at him and went,
"Are you high?"
Motherfucker, what are you talking about? You're 5'4", you make $50,000 a year, and you're single. You're probably single for a reason. You're 39, you're saying you want to be married. Listen, sweetheart, I will give you some advice. Start by getting in the gym and losing weight. These women are not going to tell you this, and this is one of the issues that I have with women as well. Y'all need to start recognizing who y'all's friends are and who y'all friends aren't. Because if these people actually cared about you and cared about your well-being, there's no way they would allow you to move through the world believing that you can reasonably get a sugar daddy looking like that. I'm sorry, it's just stop it.
Control part, if I could cater it.
9 times out of 10, when you're leading with the money, it's because you want to be able to control the person.
Yeah.
So you use the money to kind of keep them in a certain way.
Yeah, but even the broke ones, they want
They
control.
want to control
Yeah,
too.
they
Which is why the modern woman is out here kicking doors
But you
down.
also said, no, but a real man is going to provide and not have to look at it as, well, I'm providing for you so I can control you.
Eventually, it all will, do you have to be out this late? Is it, why are you coming in this late?
But that might be respect.
Because it's my job. I'm a comedian. I have to be at nightclubs till probably
Yep.
2:30 in the morning. And it started off not controlling, but then it turned into that, just throwing little hints here or doing it in a subtle way to try to make me say, oh, well, maybe I don't need to be out 5 nights a week when I know that's where I need to be.
Yeah. Well,
What man wants his woman, the woman that's the mother of his children or the potential to be the mother of his children or his wife, to be out there every single night? I need to know where y'all are finding these men, because I don't know any of them. I'm not one of them. I don't want my woman to be out here just like in these streets. I don't care what you do for a living. Listen, if you're an actress and if you're a comedian or whatever, and that's what you were when we met, okay, you get a pass on that, and I can't necessarily change you, nor should I want to change you.
However,
If you and I are trying to build a family and build a relationship or whatever, I don't want you out here going to bars. I don't want you out here just like regularly, just like in these streets. That's nothing that any man wants, any self-respecting man, let's say that. Any dude that's okay with you doing that is probably not one of the dudes that you want anyway. That's number one. But number two, you guys will say stuff like this, but then on the flip side of that, also be upset with the dude who doesn't necessarily care too much about what you're doing. So it's like you got to pick your poison a little bit here, ladies. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that, well, you want a guy to be more assertive, but then when he is assertive, you say that, well, this is your job and you don't necessarily think that he should have a problem with it. Like, come on, guys.
how about if it flips? We all have a couple dollars up here, right? Modern woman. Is the modern woman willing to be the controlling one and take care of the
Yep.
man and let him be a stay-at-home dad?
It's not for me because the ship has sailed on children for me. Like, that's just not gonna happen, So for me, having a man in my life is somebody who is like, will be a really great addition to what I've already set up for myself. Like, I'm now.
Before she continues there, it is a damn shame that you don't have kids. As beautiful as you are, you would probably make some of the most beautiful babies. That's number one. But number two, I want a lot of women to pay attention to this, especially when she says stuff like that, because a lot of you guys are approaching this too. And I know a lot of women want to have kids at some point in their futures, but the way you guys are going, you guys are not going to have them. And it's because of your own standards and because of these kind of just unrealistic expectations that you have of reality as a whole and that you have of men. Listen, you have to compromise in almost every facet in life, guys. I don't necessarily understand why you guys have continued to have these perspectives of, well, there's this guy that's out there that's less than 1% of the population, but you're going to be the one that gets him. No, sweetheart, there are other women that are probably more qualified than you are to get that same guy. And it's just the reality of the situation. If you really want to have a family, you really want to be married, and you really want to have kids, you got to start making compromises. And it starts with looking in a mirror and self-improving.
Now a homeowner. I have a really great job.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it's just like the guy that would be perfect in my life would be somebody who wants to be a witness to my life and I'm a witness to theirs. We're the rich auntie uncle. That's me.
So you never thought about kids, marriage?
No.
I've always.
That sounds like some of the most selfish shit I have ever heard. Listen, the only kind of guy that you would probably be able to get right now, Melissa Ford, and I understand, listen, you're an attractive, you are beautiful, okay? But you saying that we're the rich aunts, and the only guy that would be really good with that you would probably want is a really self-centered one, number one, or a dude that already has kids. And if you're saying that you've never been interested in having kids or whatever, that's cool. But if he has kids, his kids are still going to be his number one priority in the world. So if you guys are going to be in some sort of relationship, you would essentially have to take care of those kids in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be able to do that.
Thought about kids and marriage, and now it's totally flipped. I am at a point where I do not want kids. Mm-hmm. However, I'm also open if the partner situation comes in and there's kids involved or what. I am open to that, but I feel like I'm having to keep remaking that piece in order to not make myself feel like I'm mourning some life that I didn't get, that I thought I always wanted. And
it's also making peace with the decisions that you feel like you were always supposed to want, but you never really actually wanted them. If I wanted something to happen, I would have made it happen.
Right.
Children didn't happen. And it's probably because I never really saw myself as, being a mom. It wasn't in the cards, and I've been secretly okay with it, but I felt ashamed to actually admit that.
Why?
Yeah.
Because other women made you feel that way? Or society made you feel?
It's a societal pressure to make you feel like if this is not being used, your uterus is not in use, then what use are you as a woman?
Yeah.
That is a damn shame that we have gotten to a place in our society where our women don't think that motherhood is something that should be strived for. Oh my God. And I want you guys to pay attention to this because I think this is part of the kind of the societal decay that we've been witnessing over the past decade to decade and a half or whatever, is that all of these women, if you pay attention to what they talk about, it's always me, me, me. What do I want? What do I need? It's never, this is what I'm going to bring to the guy. I'm going to bring peace. I want this. I want to build with this guy. I want us to start a family together and I want us to just be happy and be there for each other. It's always, this is what I'm willing to accept. This is what I'm willing to tolerate. And if it's not that, get the hell out of here. And listen, I think some of this is starting to shift with the younger generations, and I'm glad to see it because a lot of them are kind of paying attention to some of these women and going, that's not the necessary circumstance that I want for myself, and I'm happy for it. But for these ladies right here and any ladies who are looking up to these women, guys,
I wish you good fortune in the wars to come.
I hope you guys find whatever it is that you're looking for because it seems like you guys are going to die old and alone.
But they make men too because, you know, a guy that I've been seeing, he doesn't have any kids. And the first thing that people are all, you know, and I was guilty of it too. I was just like, you ain't got no kids? But I caught myself and I was like, no, Tori, don't think like that. You know, just maybe he just hadn't found that person.
But it's a little bit more forgiving for them. Like they can get away with being like the George Clooney, like bachelor for life kind of thing. It just is. You know, for women, it's just like, what's wrong with you?
I've met someone recently, and you know he's in his 40s.
Before she even continues there, it's a little bit more forgiving for men because men have the time to have children. Men can decide to have children until pretty much the day we die. You have a finite amount of time. So when you pass that time, you're done. There's nowhere to go except where you are for you. A lot of y'all need to really understand this. I know there's these like tech stuff that you guys have talked about with medicine and the advancements in medicine and you guys can freeze your eggs and all that. Most of that stuff is very, very slim to none. Even when you freeze your eggs and you think you're going to be able to just have them whenever you want. No, there's only a certain number of people who actually, and it's a really, really small percentage of people who actually can conceive from frozen eggs. So
I think you should think about this long and hard.
A dude at 70 years old can still pick a chick that's young enough and have a child with her. You at 70 is not the same as a dude at 70.
And he doesn't have children. I'm like, I had a slight moment where like I was like, okay, you sure you got no kids? Like, you sure you got no kids in Haiti somewhere?
Right.
Like, but also I was like, maybe God just saved this one for me. Like, maybe that was my little treasure to find.
Here's the funny thing. So I didn't see myself having kids until I was 35. I had kids 9 years earlier than 35. And so, you know, in my mind, I was like, oh, okay, so I'm not going to have a career. I couldn't navigate and do as much as I wanted to do. So, you know, now that my kids are older, I feel like I'm a little late to the party. But I'm starting to remove that out of my head because I'm like, no, Tori, now is the time. You know, your kids are older.
I was going to say, you are the party.
Yeah. We're going to get out of here.
All right, that's the end of that video, guys. I want to say this, guys. Listen, you guys are allowed to want whatever you want in life, and I hope everybody finds whatever it is that they're looking for. If you guys, in your moments of being inadequate, turn to people like this, guys, I hope you understand full well the circumstances that they're living in. Because listen, we see them here and they look happy or whatever, but at the end of the day, they still got to go home to their big empty house and be by themselves. The other lady's talking about, well, I still want a relationship. I still want to be married or whatever, but I want it to be on my terms and I'm not really necessarily willing to compromise. I want you guys to understand that every relationship that you're going to get into is going to be some sort of push and pull. There's going to be some sort of tug. There's going to have to be compromises made. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to make any kind of long-standing relationship. Number two, guys, children are a blessing, okay? We need to start shifting this narrative that children are not a blessing and that children are a burden. I'm somebody who wants to be a father at some point in my life, and I don't necessarily think I'm at the place in my life right now where I should be a father, but it's something that I aspire to be one day in my life, and I have the time to do that. For a lot of ladies who watch this video, I need you guys to understand that you guys don't have that privilege. I have the privilege of delaying being a father, delaying pursuing relationships, delaying pursuing fatherhood.
You do not.
You guys literally have a biological clock that's ticking every single day. This is not me saying this because I hate you. This is not me trying to say you need to do this. What I'm telling you is this is the reality of your biology, and you guys need to understand that if you want to be a mother, you need to start. If you're 30 years old, you need to start looking right now. You need to start vetting the candidates that could potentially be a really good father for you and be a protector and provider. Listen, I don't have any issues with women wanting a provider and a protector. You guys have to essentially go on a 9-month journey if you guys want to be a mother where you're basically vulnerable and at your most vulnerable. You should want a provider and a protector.
Just be reasonable.
Your time is ticking, and that time is ever shrinking. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I don't necessarily have too much to say about this. Let me know what you guys think about this entire situation, and let me know what you guys think about this woman. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me on this video. You guys could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be with me, and I really do appreciate you. If you liked what you heard today, do me a solid and like the video, share the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Those things really do help out the channel a lot, guys. And if you didn't like what you heard, thanks for allowing me to occupy your time. Consider leaving a comment in the comments down below, letting me know exactly what it was that you disagreed with, and maybe we could talk about it. Either way, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for pressing play on this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.